Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another Flavor Foley reaction. Today we have Wayward Romance. I am very quickly a fan of Flavor Foley. I've listened to them so many times. By the time you're seeing this, I've already put out my drum cover short of Static, and I love doing that, and I made it like a little mini short horror film in a way. So if you haven't seen that, go watch that. But I just love their work. I love how they approach music, and it's always original. It's always fun. It never sounds the same in any song that they do. So I'm excited to hear what this one has in store for me, and I guess without further ado, let's go!
Down a shot burning brighter than the crowd, dirty liquor, take a bitter from the night we saw and off.
Immediately bouncing. Like I said, it's always different. Ooh. Ooh. Kicking it up right away.
Count to three, warm up for hide and seek. Close your eyes and empathize and don't sneak a peek. Scarlet seems the city shrieks. Come find me in between, smog if only in a never-ending dream.
Ooh, oh.
You're the one done up.
Are they doing the thing with the vocals? Is that something built in, or they have to be doing that manually?
Just go for me behind the bed, but I'll leave our stories locked in time.
I've got to listen close now. Oh, they are. They got to be doing that on purpose. It's perfectly matched by the instruments. Yeah, that. Those quick note changes. It's melismatic. That's so awesome. Oh, we'll talk about that. I love that sound. For now, I'm going to focus on other things. Love this. I mean, I love the fact that they're throwing in traditional instruments. But I love that percussion break. God, that feels so good. I wasn't sure if that was just a byproduct of the V-synth itself, because some do kind of have that vibrato to it. But no, they're doing melisma. That's awesome. And they're doing it so well and tight and controlled. Oh, it's done already? I was getting so hyped about that. Ooh.
Down a shot burning brighter than the crowd, dirty liquor, take a bitter from the night we saw and off right through the gill. Get streets rendezvous, secret sweet, rolling on until the dawn beneath the lanterns we'll meet.
I just didn't think it would be Chinese, is all.
Okay, I'm actually going to read the description now. I did not read it first, even though Senpapi said I should. I'm just going to see what I'm missing, if there's any little details of information in there, because that's apparently a thing they do in every description, and I'm going to have to make sure I read those so I'm not missing something. So there was a little fun bit of information from Jamie down in there, where apparently this is 35 different vocalists doing the crowd chants during the chorus, and that's nuts because I thought it was just like a vocoder effect. I didn't think that was anything deeper, but I guess Jamie just thought it would be funnier, according to the comment, to do that. So I'm good. Congratulations, you played yourself, spending all that time on 35 different layers of vocals when you could have just literally copied and pasted and put on a vocoder effect and it would have basically sounded the same. So good job. I know you know that, Jamie, if you're watching this, but also, why? Why would you do that to yourself? And to make it even worse, Vain Lily apparently didn't even label any of the voices, so it's just like a homogeneous lump of voice that has no name, apparently, by the end of it. So while we have the name of every vocal synth in there, we don't know which one would be which if we were to see every single layer, and they wouldn't either, which is hilarious. But again, why would you do that to yourselves? But let's get on to the main thing I want to talk about with this song. This was really fun, but I really want to talk about the melismatic approach to this. So for those who don't know, melisma is basically the use of multiple notes on one syllable. So something that's melismatic is just something that's applying that to a song. So you usually, and especially Chinese and a lot of just generally Asian music, they tend to have flutes, and a lot of the time the flutes are kind of matching the main melody with the vocalist, and the vocalist will work in tandem with that instrument. So people over the course of probably hundreds of years have basically been like, oh, I want to sound like that. Why don't we just start singing like that regularly? Why don't we try to mimic these instruments and make that kind of part of our main musical culture? And they do that, and I like that they blend it here too, where they're both played at the same time, so you have the melody and the vocalist kind of doing that tandem thing again. But also, just doing that at all is kind of neat. The flute does that anyway. If you're moving these notes around, that's something that you can obviously do on a flute. You move a finger back and forth, you kind of do a trill, anything like that. But if you want to do that vocally, you have to do that melismatically. If you're singing words, you have to obviously have syllables, and you have to be able to cut that note up multiple times in order to finish something off. And it's a lot easier doing that on one note than trying to match different syllables every single time you have a new note when you're doing trills like that. So melismatic approaches are what kind of band-aid that effort, where you're singing this main melody line and you're moving your notes around and keeping things consistent, and it just sounds really good because you're not forcing another syllable in there. You're not trying to get another consonant out, another vowel out. You don't have to do all of that. So you can just kind of sing with it, and it just kind of adds this little flighty danciness to it, just like the flute does, and what that exact method is modeled after. And the reason I'm excited about this is because while you do hear people do that a lot in real life, it's also very difficult to do that sort of thing this quick at this BPM. It is very difficult to keep that many flips in your voice and all these notes going up and down constantly, and how often they do it in this song when you're a human, you know? So there is kind of a benefit to having the V-synth in this case, where you're able to choose to do that whenever and wherever you want to, and it fits so well here. I like that they didn't necessarily overdo it, but they definitely started pushing the envelope with how often they were doing it by the end. Again, not a bad thing. If anything, it's kind of like a tech demo in a way of like, hey, look at what we can do. Look at the vocal gymnastics we can pull off with this. And sure, yes, it's a V-synth. You can kind of do whatever you want, but it also just sounds really good. Feng's vibrato also perfectly complements that as well, because it already has that natural warbliness to it. You kind of get that really aggressive vibrato, which is kind of already what they're doing with the melisma there. So it just kind of works out. It just feels really good. Her character tone is right on the money. Her voice is perfect for this, and they really did abuse that in the best way, shape, and form. Every single time they've pulled out a V-synth, I've always been like, I don't know which one that is. I don't think I've heard Feng till today, but I love the way she sounds, and it sounds so good for this song. They've yet to use a V-synth character where I've been like, I would have used somebody else, you know? Like, every single one they've done has been just right on the money for the genre, for the feel, everything about it. In this case, vocally, both in her vibrato and the way that they did the melisma, it's just, so good. And as far as the instruments go, I'm not going to get too deep into that because I was going on the melismatic thing for so long, but I like what they were doing with bringing in some of those traditional instruments, having fun with that, playing around in that playground, especially with those percussive breaks. I personally love, for obvious reasons, a good traditional drum break anywhere, and I love the way that they used it here. They almost used it as a slight downbeat between movements of the track and before getting back into the chorus, and it's so good. It felt so good. You're just like, oh, here we go, yeah! Like, it just allows you to build up just enough excitement in that little moment where you know something's about to happen, and right before it releases, you're still getting a little bit of information, but it's also organic information. You're not getting something that's just more synth, and it's like, that's cool too, but there's just something about it that really brings it home when it's a good organic feel on the drums that just gets me all hyped. But I think I'll stop yapping and call it there before I start going too long. So thank you all so very much for watching. I know I'll be getting to more Flavor Foley. Send Poppy will not let me go another day without putting another Flavor Foley song into the queue. So I'm sure there will be more in the future if you want to see those. Again, if you haven't seen any of the other stuff I've done for Flavor Foley or any other V-synth stuff I've done, it's pretty much all Send Poppy's fault, and I'm falling into this rabbit hole as a result of them. But if you have something specific you want me to get to, or you want to force Send Poppy to do it, or you want to do it yourself, you can even go to my Patreon, you can go to my YouTube memberships, you can join the tier where you can force me to listen to whatever you want. It's a guaranteed request, and no matter if it's something from Flavor Foley or something completely unrelated, I have to listen to it. That's what a guaranteed request is all about. But otherwise, if you just like this video and you want to follow me and support me for other stuff in the future, you know how to do all that, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye!